Rabotai, the subject of the shiur, Hoshana Rabba. The 7th day of the Hag Sukkot, it's called Hoshana Rabba. Why is it called Hoshana Rabba? We have to understand what does it mean. So I'm going to bring the opinion of the Rokach. Who was the Rokach? Rokach was a book that been written by Rabbi Eliezer Migarmiza. He born in the city of Mainz in Germany. He born around 865 years ago. And he write in his book in chapter 221, Siman Resh Kaf Aleph, he said that Hasiba, the reason that they call Hoshana Rabba, he explained, because on Sukkot, on the festival of Sukkot, we get judged on the water. I will explain what does it mean. It means how much rain gonna fall during the season. And the verdict for it where is in the festival of Sukkot. But he said that when we get judged. But when is the final seal? He says in a day of Hoshana Rabbah that it's called, that is the 7th day of Sukkot, and that's why we call it Hoshana Rabbah. What it means, Hoshana Rabbah, Hoshana Rabbah? Say the simple English translation is Hoshana is to save, big save, okay, or big salvation. That's the right or maybe more appropriate interpretation. And he say that because we want a lot of salvation from the Almighty, on that day it's called Hoshana Rabbah. Why? Because the life of a human being, a life of the animal, a life of all the material that grow from the ground, the fruit, the wheat, everything that we eat, it's actually, if we don't have, has v'shalom, enough water, it's a disaster. He says, so what we're doing on the day of Hoshana Rabbah, we daven, we pledge, we begging HaKadosh Baruch Hu that should be a year that's full of rain. What it means full of rain? A year that will be a lot of prosperity, okay, that's going to come from the rain. That's going to be a blessed year with rain. Okay, so we explained that the name Hoshana Rabbah, okay, that we need a lot of salvation on that day. The 7th day, that's tonight and tomorrow, that's Hoshana Rabbah. Where is the source for that minhag of Hoshana Rabbah? So the first source that it's actually mentioned, it's an ancient midrash that called Shoher Tov. Shoher Tov is a midrash on a book of Tehillim, on chapter 17. Okay, there it's mentioned Hoshana Rabbah. Rabbeinu Bechaya ben Asher. Rabbeinu Bechaya ben Asher, he born in the city of Saragossa. Saragossa is in Spain. He born 770 years ago. And in his commentary on Parashat Zot HaBeracha, that we're going to read on Tuesday, Be'ezrat Hashem, okay, he explains something very interesting. He explained that the day of Hoshana Rabbah, okay, it's the 26th day, Rabotai, listen to it, from the day of the creation. Now you're all going to jump on me and say, how? How can it be? Okay. When did HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world? So we explained that HaKadosh Baruch Hu started to create the world, okay, and he finished to create the world when? On a Friday. Friday takes 6 days before Elul, before Rosh Hashanah, okay, from Rosh Hashanah to, Sorry, my mistake. From Rosh Hashanah, from Rosh Hashanah to what is it called? Hoshana Rabba, that's the 7th day of Sukkot. Okay. It's sorry, let me just admit another two. Yeah, I'm admitting everyone. Yeah, everyone is in with us because I see that there's a problem here. Let me just make sure that also Frank with us. Yes, Frank with us and Orel with us. So everyone with us. Okay, good. Because for a second I see that I didn't admit you. Sorry about it. So let's go back. Rabbeinu Behaya explained on his commentary that the Yom Hoshana Rabbah is the 26 days, okay, from the day that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world. And we explain that HaKadosh Baruch Hu actually created the world, okay, when? When did HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, Rabotai? So we explain that Adam HaRishon got created on the 6th day of the creation. And according to some of the Mefarshim, that was the day of Rosh Hashanah. Okay? Add up from the 6th day to Hoshana Rabbah, you see that it's 26 days. Said the Mefarshim, what does it mean, the number 26? What difference does it make to me? Say Rabbeinu Behaye, it's come to tell you that the day of Hoshana Rabbah, the gematria of the holy name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yud Kei Vav Kei, okay, is 26. Hoshana Rabbah 4, okay, 26 days straight after the creation of the world. He said, therefore, it's a great day for salvation, okay? That on that day, we need a lot of salvation. Another interpretation that I saw, that Hazal bringing, that what does it mean, Shem Rabbah? What it means, Shem Rabbah? Great name, okay? That means that on that day, it's a great name for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that we can see salvation. I saw another commentary that brought by Rabbi Yosef Haim. Rabbi Yosef Haim, born in the city of Baghdad in Iraq 191 years ago. And in his book Ben Ish Hai, the first year, on Parashat Zot HaBeracha, in verse 1, he explained that if we look carefully, that from the month of Elul to Hoshana Rabbah, there is 51 days. Okay? He said that if you take the gematria of 51, it's Nun Aleph, that it give you Na, Hoshana, okay, that we're asking for big salvation. Dafka when? On Hoshana Rabbah, on a 51 day. Why? Because we're asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu to make us a big salvation, dafka on a 51 days, that it awards the Na, please. Na, it's Nun Aleph. Nun is 50, Aleph is 1, is 51. Also, the word Na means please, that please the Almighty create for us a big salvation on a 51 days, that it awards the gematria of Na. Another interpretation that Hazal bring for the meaning of the source or the idea behind Hoshana Rabbah for the name, that Hoshana Rabbah, it's actually the 21 days from Rosh Hashanah. And there's another holy name that called Aleph Hey Yud Aleph, Eheye. He said that Eheye in Gematria is 21. Dafka on the 21 days from Rosh Hashanah for Hoshana Rabbah. That's the day that we can pledge the Almighty, beg the Almighty, daven to the Almighty, that He will have mercy and compassion with us. Okay, what exactly happening on Hoshana Rabbah? I mean, okay, we understand that it's the 26 days from the creation. It's the 51 days from Rosh Chodesh Elul until today is 51 days. But I understand all of that. But what exactly happening in Hoshana Rabbah? So about a source, I tell you, I actually was a bit stressed when I wrote the shiur. And I wanted to understand really what's happening behind it. And I couldn't find the source. I knew the answer, but I didn't understand. Until I found it today, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu helped me, Baruch Hashem, to find it in two different books. In a book of the Zohar on Sefer Shmot, and a book of the Zohar on Sefer Vayikra. In a book of the Zohar on Sefer Shmot, if someone want to see it, it's on the page 142, folio 1. I'm going to read the Aramaic, and then I will translate it to English. Look what it says. בלילה בתרא דחגה דקה נפקין פתקים מבי מלכה. What does it mean? On the last night of the festival of Sukkot, the judgment, the letter, okay, actually been sent from the house of the king. What do you learn from it? You learn from it that the verdict, okay, been released on the last day of the festival of Sukkot, and that what day is it? The seventh day? Shana Rabba. Another source that I saw in Sefer Vayikra, in page 31, folio 2, look there, it says like this. ביומה שבעה, דחג הוא, סיומה דדינה דעלמה, ופתקים נפקין מבי מלכה. What does it mean? On a 7 days, okay, of the festival, referring to the festival of Sukkot, that's the end of the judgment of the world. And all the judgment, okay, that means the verdict, leaving the house of the king. What it means, the king? The Almighty. Therefore, the Mefarshim explain, and the Zohar explain, that on the 7 days of Sukkot, that's Hoshana Rabbah, we usually do certain minhagim, and now we're going to speak about it. We actually, the davening is much longer, very, very long. We davening, we asking for forgiveness. It's a day of slichot and tahanunim. We begging HaKadosh Baruch Hu and asking him for forgiveness. And there is a custom in Hoshana Rabbah to study all night, especially in the book of Dvarim and the book of Tehillim. Why dafka the book of Tehillim? The book of Tehillim is because tonight the Ushpizin is David HaMelech. We can't sit on a sukkah because it's raining. But David HaMelech is the visitors. And David HaMelech, the book of Tehillim referred to him. We learned that it wasn't only him. The Gemara in Masechet Baba Batra tell us that the book of Tehillim been written by David HaMelech and 10 elderly. Okay. But what is the idea? David HaMelech wrote the main or most of the poem of the book of Tehillim. And David HaMelech wrote it in a time that he was in dire strait. And say the Mefarshim that dafka on Hoshana Rabbah, that is the Ushpizin of the night, the visitors of the night that's coming to visit us, we have to learn and to read Tehillim because it's all about davening to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That will help us. The same like David HaMelech wrote it when he needed help from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we davening to HaKadosh Baruch Hu to help us in that night. And that's what the main learning should be, okay? People that can't do that, I know that there is some people that they have a different custom, that they learn in Havrutot. Everyone has Havruta, and they sit and they study all night. Or in different shul, there is different lectures all night. All during the night, there is different rabbonim that give different shiurim. Each one according to his own custom. But Rabotai, I need to point something very important. The most important tonight is the first half of the night, until after midnight, to study. That's the most important, because then after midnight, those verdicts leave the heaven. So therefore, the custom is to sit awake and to study Torah until midnight tonight. Many shuls started early. There's many shuls that start only after 9:30 tonight. And then they go through the night until 5 o'clock, until the nets, and then at 5 o'clock, they start to do the shachrit. They start to daven shachrit. So each one according to his own minhag. I don't know what's the minhagim, but most probably there is a lot of havrutot. For example, the Sfaradim have a book that's called Kirei Moed. It's a book, and we go through it. We read Sefer Dvarim, and then we read part of the Tehillim, and etc. Until we're ready, and at 5 o'clock, plus minus around 5 o'clock, we start Shachrit. But the most important, I repeat again, Rabotai, it's the first part of the night. Now, there is a shaila amongst the poskim, should women stay awake? So I see that the Ben Ish Hai paskin, that if the women want to stay awake, yes, they can stay awake. Why not? Okay, because they also need salvation. We all need salvation. Say the Ben Ish Hai, therefore, women can stay also awake if they want to learn. Okay, they want to learn Torah, they can learn Torah. If they want to go to sleep, no one stopped them from going to sleep. Why? Because it's a custom. But the idea is for us as men that we have to understand to stay awake until midnight, till after midnight. Okay. Then what are we doing tomorrow morning? One of the different things that we'll do tomorrow morning, different to every other morning in a festival of Sukkot, that tomorrow morning we're gonna walk around the bima 7 times. During Hol HaMoed, as you all know, we done Hoshanot. On Hoshana Rabba, we do 7 Hoshanot, sorry. Every day during Hol HaMoed and on Shabbat, we do Hoshanot, okay? One round around the bima, and that's it. Tomorrow, it's Hoshana Rabba. There is a custom to go around the bima 7 times, okay? Why it's different from any other day? Why dafka 7, okay? So on a pshat of the Dvarim, Hazal tell us that when Bet HaMikdash walls exist, okay, they used to surround the altar. They used to go around the altar 7 times. 6 days of the festival of Sukkot. They used to take aravot. They used to put on a side of the altar, okay, and they used to surround. But on the 7 days that it's Hoshana Rabbah, they circle the Mizbeach 7 times. In that custom, in that memory, we're doing the same in Hoshana Rabbah. That's pshat of the Dvarim. But we have to understand why dafka 7. What is the number 7 come to tell us here? So I explained when we spoke about the Hag Sukkot that number 7 is actually a very fundamental number in a Jewish religion. As you all know, we are we have to understand that, 1 second, I've done something here. Okay. Number seven in a Jewish religion is very fundamental, very critical number. We have 7 days in a week, that the 7 days fall on a Shabbos. We have other ideas of number seven, the 7 years, that the 7 years, okay, is the Shnata Shmita, the Shemitah year. Okay, we have 7 days that we give Hatan and Kala. That means that we call it Sheva Brachot, and there's many, many more. Okay, but why is Chazal tell us to surround the altar 7 times that they used to do it? And therefore, in that memory, we have to surround the bima in the shul to go around the bima 7 times. Okay, that's pshat of the dvarim. So, Rabotai, the answer to it comes from the Gemara in Yerushalmi in Masechet Sukkah, chapter 20, chapter 19, halacha number 1. And look what Hazal say, and I will read it in Hebrew and then I'll translate it. Oto yom, mekifim et hamizbeach 7 פעמים. That means Oto yom, in Hoshana Rabba, they used to surround the altar 7 times. Amar Rabbi Aha say, Zecher leyericho. Rabbi Aha say, it's in a memory that the Jewish people surround the wall of Jericho 7 times. What's happened? Let me explain. That the minhag was, when Beit HaMikdash was exist, that surround the altar 7 times. Okay, why? In memory that when the children of Israel entered the land of Eretz Israel, when they come from Egypt, the first city that they have to conquer, it was Jericho. Jericho was surrounded by walls, very high walls, as the book of Yeshua tells us. And what happened there? When they came to the city of Jericho, Yeshua bin Nun, that took over Moshe Rabbeinu and led the children of Israel to the land of Eretz Israel, so that it's not going to be so simple to conquer the land of Jericho. Why? Because the city of Jericho is surrounded by a huge wall, very thick wall and very high wall. That's pshat of the dvarim. But the Mefarshim explained that the city of Jericho, not only that was surrounded by huge wall, those city was full of witchcrafting, that it wasn't so simple to bring them down. So that means that we needed a spiritual, the children of Israel needed a spiritual way to cancel those witchcrafting that surrounded the city of Jericho and to bring the wall of Jericho down. Okay, now we understand why it's 7 times, but why Dafka Jericho? Why not something else? That's what we have to understand. Why? If you tell me 7 times, and it's because that the children of Israel with the Kohanim every day surrounded the city of Jericho 1 day. On the 7th day, they surround the wall of Jericho 7 times, and then the wall of Jericho fell down. Other interpretation that bring in that it didn't just fall down. The wall of city of Jericho actually sunk into the ground. It was a different interpretation between the Pshat and the Mekubalim, what's happened there. But still, why Dafka the city of Jericho? What is Jericho, asked the Mefarshim, have to do with Hoshana Rabba? What's the connection between Jericho to Hoshana Rabba? That's what we have to understand. Be'ezrat Hashem, I'm going to bring 3 different ideas to try to understand that. What's the connection between Jericho and Hoshana Rabba? First, I'm going to start with Rabbi Avraham Kitov. Rabbi Avraham Kitov, I explained, he born in the city of Warsaw. He born around 113 years ago. He wrote the book Sefer HaToda'ah. And he explained like this, that the conquering of the city of Jericho, when is it happen, he said? He said, you have to understand that it happened after the children of Israel entered the land of Eretz Israel. And he said, what happened when the children of Israel entered the land of Eretz Israel? The cloud of glory was disappeared. That means the children of Israel didn't sit anymore in a sukkah. We're sitting in a sukkah in the merit of the cloud of glory. As it says in Sefer Vayikra, Parashat Emor, okay, chapter 23. There Hazal say, בסוכות ישבו 7 ימים, okay, that in a sukkah we have to sit for 7 days. Why? Okay, Hazal in the Gemara explain, because Ananei HaKavod, in the merit of Ananei HaKavod. Say Rabbi Avraham Kitov, what are we doing on Hoshana Rabbah? We're leaving, it's the last day that we're in a sukkah. It's to remind us that the children of Israel, on the last day, after they didn't have any more sukkot, and they start to move into the land of Eretz Israel, as they enter the land of Eretz Israel, the cloud of glory left them. Okay? It's come to tell you that it's to remind us what the children of Israel done first thing after the cloud of glory left them. To indicate to us, to remind us the conquering of the city of Jericho. That's when it was, when the children of Israel didn't stay anymore or was under the protection of the cloud of glory. And they live in a normal house. So what do we do on Hoshana Rabbah? Hoshana Rabbah, it's the last day that we're sitting in a sukkah, that is the merit of the cloud of glory. After that, we're moving to our permanent house. He said, that's why we're doing all of that, what happened on the 7 days. That on the 7 days, they surrounded the city of Jericho 7 times, and then the wall disappeared. That's the Hidush. Rabbeinu Behaye. Rabbeinu Behaye, that we brought, he born 770 years ago in the city of Saragossa. He wrote a book that called Kad HaKemach. What it means, the Kad HaKemach, is the jar of flour. Yeah. And he explained that, he said like this. First of all, you have to understand, like we explained earlier, that the city of Jericho was surrounded or was being protected by witchcrafting. He said that you needed a spiritual, holy, divine of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to bring it down. Okay? Therefore, when the children of Israel with the Kohanim walk 7 times around the wall of Jericho, that spiritual, that special energy, holy energy, can bring the wall down. But you needed to do it 7 times. Okay? He explained that what is number 7 come to represent to us here. Say Rabbeinu Behaye something very interesting. He said that the number 7 show, we explained, the complete in this world, that everything is completed. He said that by that the children of Israel with the Kohanim surrounded the city of Jericho 7 times. Okay, it's come to tell you that they move the evil spirit, all of those witchcrafting from that, and they didn't have any more power. Say Rabbeinu Behaye, when you surrounding the bima, when you walk around the bima 7 times, you're actually now creating different energy, a holy divine energy that to get rid of all the judgment that has v'shalom there is on every Jew. Why? Because we explained that on the 7th day is the day, it's the final day that they send the post, let's call it, the letters, the verdict. So, has v'shalom, if Rosh Hoshana, we've been judged. In Yom Kippur, we've been written and sealed. Okay? Said the Mekubalim that on Hoshana Rabba, before they send the letters, by that we sitting, davening, asking for forgiveness, doing atonement, and all of that, surrounding the bima 7 times to cancel all of those evil forces that they cannot criticize against us. Another explanation that the Mefarshim explain that the same like the children of Israel surrounded the wall of Jericho 7 times, and they managed to bring those walls down. We surrounding the bima on Hoshana Rabbah to bring the wall that's stopping us from doing tshuva, that's stopping us to penetrate to the heaven. That our davening will reach the heaven. By that's surrounding the bima tomorrow 7 times, we actually bring in that barricade that tried to stop us from reaching to do tshuva from heaven. That's mean that surrounding the bima is to bring the character trait of judgment against every Jew. So Rabotai, tomorrow morning, when we go to shul, when everyone have his own lulav and his etrog, and it takes too long, not to get upset. The opposite, to be happy. Nachon that it takes time. Many people get agitated. But the Hidush here is that, what are we doing? The same like the children of Israel done when they entered the land of Eretz Israel, they needed to bring the wall of Jericho that was made from witchcrafting. They wanted to cancel all the evilness, all the evil power in the world of Jericho, to bring it down. We tomorrow, by that we're going to surround Be'ezrat Hashem the bima 7 times, we actually going to bring the wall that there is between us and the Almighty, that to stop those people that try to criticize against us, number one, and to help us to reach to our goal, to do atonement, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will accept our atonement tomorrow, the final atonement, the final tshuva that we're going to do tomorrow. And that's why we surrounding the bima 7 times. Okay, that's one of the customs that we're going to do tomorrow. There's another custom that we're doing after we're doing the surrounding of the bima. We're taking 5 leaves of aravot, or 5 branches of aravot, and each one of them have to be shloshat fahim. What it means shloshat fahim? It have to be minimum 24 centimeter. We take 5, we put them together, we tie them together, and we hit the floor with that. That's called havatat aravot. Okay? We take in 5 aravot and we hit it on the floor. We'll explain the different minhagim that there is. But we have to understand what's hiding behind all of it. So I'm going to start with the Rambam say. The Rambam in Ilchot Lulav. The Rambam was Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon. He born in the city of Cordova. Sorry, in Spain. 890 years ago. In Ilchot Lulav, in chapter 7, law number 22, he said, Minhag Israel. I'm reading it in Hebrew and then I translate it. Minhag Israel, litol arava beyom shvi'i, zecher lamikdash. Huh? He said that on the 7 days of the festival of Sukkot, it's a custom to take arava, okay? And it's a memory to what they used to do in Bet HaMikdash. And then he continued and said, וחופטים בה על הקרקע או על כלי, כפי שהנהיגו הנביאים בזמן שבית המקדש היה קיים. What did he say? Say the Rambam that we take in those 5 branches of arava and we hit it on the ground or on a vessel. Why? Because that's how our prophet used to do in a time that Bet HaMikdash was exist. The Shulchan Aruch, Rabbi Yosef Karo, he born in the city of Toledo in Spain 536 years ago. He writes in Siman Taf Resh Samech Dalet, that means 664, Sa'if Bet, verse 2. He said that because it was a minhag to hit the aravot on the ground, he said we don't say brocha on it. Ask the mefarshim, why not? Why don't say brocha if it's a custom? So you should say brocha. Why don't say brocha? So the mefarshim explain like this. We do also Mayim Achronim. The Shulchan Aruch writes that Mayim Achronim Chova. It's an obligation to do Mayim Achronim. After we finish to eat, we take a vessel with a little bit of water and we wash the end, okay, of our finger. Just the end, the first part of our finger. Chazal explained the why, melach zdomit, and etc. Okay? But we're not going to go into it. He said, but also on that custom that we don't do brocha, we don't do on harvatat aravot. What's the secret behind it? The mystical Rabbi explained, you know why we do Mayim Achronim? Mayim Achronim, that it's not only according to the pshat that the Gemara bring, okay, that because melach zdomit, it was a salty, very salty salt that calls zdomit, that the person can get blind from it. No. That the Zohar explained and the Chachmei Kabbalah explained, it's to give the evil forces their part. We eaten, we got satisfied. We don't want the Yetzer Hara, the Satan, to criticize against us. What do? We wash our hand and all the food go. We know that the Sitra Ahra, that's the evil forces, they love to be in dirty places. So we're giving them the dirty thing that we eat with our hand, because in the olden days they used to do it. Okay? He said, what are we doing by that we're hitting the aravot? We trying, we explain that to stop, okay, it's the same like they used to do in the Mikdash. We explain that there is a special thing about it, that the same like the wall of Jericho came down, it's to annihilate all the evil forces, okay, you can't say brocha. Why? Because it speaks about evil forces. And if we talk about evil forces, you can't say brocha. That's what the Shulchan Aruch writes. But Rabotai, now I'm going to go a bit more depth, and I'm going to speak about the secret behind, okay, hitting the 5 branches of Aravot on the floor. So I'm going to start step by step. I'm going to bring most probably 6 ideas. I don't think if we're going to have time, but I'm going to try to squeeze it. But we go step by steps. I'm going to start first. What Hazal telling us? We have to understand. So we all know that the Aravot symbolizing the lips. We explained that in a few years back, we explained that the etrog symbol the heart, the lulav symbol the spine. Remember, we explained that. That's according to the organ of the body. The Aravot symbol the lips. That's awards the symbol people amongst the Jewish people, while the Hadassim symbol the eyes. Okay, but let's focus on Aravot. Say the Mefarshim, you take 5 branches of Aravot, okay, and you put them together, and you hit them on the floor, and you hit them very hard. Why? Why do we have to hit very hard? Say the Mefarshim, because on that day, that it's the final verdict get posted, we want to shut the mouth, excuse my language, to seal the mouth of the prosecutor, that's the Yetzer Hara. How we do that? By that we hit it into the ground, okay? We're shutting his mouth, so he can't criticize against us. Ari HaKadosh, Rabbi Yitzhak Luria Ashkenazi, he born in Jerusalem 491 years ago. He wrote in Sha'ar HaKavanot that in Drush Daled regarding the Sukkah, when he's speaking about Sukkot, he explained like this. There is 5 character traits of judgment in the world. And that's towards the what we call it manchapach. We'll explain about it just now. Okay. He said that we take in dafka number 5. And we have to hit on the ground 5 times. And each time that we hit, we have to have in mind against the 5 character trait of judgment that is against us, that criticize against us. He said by that you're hitting him on the floor 5 times, and you take 5 of them and you hit them on the ground, it's to weaken their forces and to eliminate those character traits of judgment. The Geonim, in the time of the Geonim, let me explain when was the time of the Geonim. The Geonim they lived around over 1,000 years ago. The Rabbi Tzemach Gaon, in his book, in Sha'arei Tshuva, the Gate of Tshuva, in chapter 340, and also the Zohar HaKadosh on Sefer Vayikra, page Lamed Aleph, 31, folio 1. They bring in something else. They explain that the main reason that we take Arava, okay, why Dafka Arava? So we explain because it symbolizes the lips, to stop the lips of the evil forces. But they bring in different. You say the lips, okay, that the Arava look like a lips. They say no, it's a different idea. He say you take the Arava, you take those branches of the Arava. Why? Because the Arava, what's their symbol? That they didn't bring flour. Once that you cut the Arava, every one of you know, they dry immediately. They don't last for a long time. Okay? Because of that, what do? We taking those 5 branches, said the Geonim, you taking them and you hit them on the floor because we want, so to say, that the prosecutor against us, okay, gonna, first of all, his mouth's gonna get shut. Number 2, that we're hitting it on the floor, so all of his words gonna penetrate to the ground and wouldn't go up to heaven. Okay? That's how Rabbi Tzemach Gaon writes that the idea behind taking the Aravot, because it's dry quick, to make sure that we're gonna eliminate the Yetzer Hara, not to prosecute against us, not to give him a chance, so it will get dry. Number 3, we're hitting it on the floor. Number 2, we're hitting it on the floor. Why dafka the floor? That its words wouldn't go up to heaven, will stay here, down here. Where? On the ground, will penetrate into the ground. So that's, we explained the 3rd idea. The 4th idea that I'm going to bring, it's a Kabbalistic explanation, and that's brought in a book, Sefer HaTe'amim, okay, Te'amei HaMinhagim. It's been written by Rabbi Avraham Yitzhak Sperling. He born in Ukraine in the city of Lvov, okay, around 174 years ago. Sefer HaMinhagim, the book of Minhagim, that's how they call him. Why did they call him like this? Because Rabbi Avraham Yitzhak Sperling, he wanted to understand, since he was a little boy, what's the idea behind every custom that we do? That we have many customs in the Jewish religion, and he searched and he gone through the mystical part idea behind it, and he write the reason behind every minhag. And he wrote in chapter Taf Kaf Aleph, that's mean 821. Okay, I'm just doing quick the mystical. He saw that there is a special thing about the Arava tree. He said the Arava tree come to get rid of all the evil forces in the world. All the bad spiritual thing that there is in the world, you can get rid only with Arava. He said that's why we're using Arava, okay? The branches of Arava, Dafka, and not anything else. Okay, and we're hitting it 5 times, okay, to eliminate, number 1, all the evil forces that try to criticize against us. That's the reason that we're using Arava, according to the mystical. So what do we learn from it? That the Arava is something, a secret about it, that it's protection. It's a protection for a human being from the evil forces. I'm going to bring the 5th idea. The 5th idea is the idea of the Ben Ish Chai, Rabbi Yosef Haim. Rabbi Yosef Haim wrote the book that's called Ben Ish Chai. Ben Ish Chai is a book of halachot. There's quite a bit of mystical, or not a lot. There is a lot of mystical idea that he brings to show. From here we're learning that he was a great Kabbalistic. In his book on Parashat Zot HaBeracha, in verse 6, he explained like this. He said, when you take the 5 branches of Aravot, you hit it on the ground 5 times. What is 5 in Gematria? Which letters is it? it's towards the letters Hey, because 5 in Gematria, Hey in Gematria is 5. He said by that we're hitting the ground 5 times, it's the equivalent to the letters Hey, that the Gematria is 5. He said that's come to tell you by that you hit 5 times, it was the last letters of Yud K Vav K, Shem Havaya, that end up with the name of the Almighty. That what is that represent? Malchut, kingship. Okay? And he said by that you're hitting each time you're hitting the ground, it's a words you have to have in mind and to have the kavana of the otiyot mantzapach, the word mantzapach. It's mem, nun, tzadik, pei, chaf sofit. Every time that we hit, the first time mem, second time nun, third time tzadik, fourth time pei, and the fifth time is chaf sofit. It's towards the word of mantzapach. Okay, what it means, mantzapach? That it's towards that sequence that show the malchut of the Almighty, the kingship of the Almighty. And by that we try to stop the Yetzer Hara criticizing against us, explain the Ben Ish Chai, if we're doing it in order, that every time you have to have in order, the first hit is Mem, then Nun, then Tzadik, then Pei, and then Chaf Sofit. It's to show that the kingship, that the Almighty, He's our king, we're crowning Him, and He's the king, to stop the prosecutor from prosecuting against us. That means to eliminate all the evil forces to try to harm us. Okay. Ari Kadosh also explained that when we're hitting on the ground, he explained that according to Kabbalistic, and here comes the point, and here I want to put emphasis on. According to Ari Kadosh, you have to hit on a proper soil, on a proper ground. Nachon, that it's a custom that, like the Rambam said, that you can hit on the carpet floor or tile floor or to hit on any other vessel. There's no problem with that. There is no problem with that. Okay, but the Ari Kadosh explained according to the Kabbalistical, according to the mystical idea behind it, that we should hit especially on a sand, the ground. But that you're hitting on a sand, you actually bearing the prosecutor that he cannot talk. We actually, what we're doing, we actually forcing him into the ground, that he can't criticize against us. That means that we burying him in the ground. And that's, said the Ari Kadosh, the secret behind it. Some of the Mefarshim explain that on the pshat of the Dvarim, that no, you know what's the idea behind all of it, that we're hitting the floor? Now it's more to the pshat. It's more kind to show that we want the rain to come down. By that we're hitting the aravot on the ground, that we want the rain to come down and to penetrate to the ground. And then we're going to have a prosperity here, that everything can live. By that there is rain, everyone survives. The animal, human being, we can have fruit, we can have wheats. All of those substance things now get survived because of what? The rain. A human being survives if there is rain. Chas v'shalom. If there is no rain, we know what's coming. I don't want to mention the word. It's come to tell you something very important. He said by that we're hitting the ground is to saying that the water will come from heaven and will penetrate into the ground. Okay, now I have to explain again that the size of the aravot, okay, for tomorrow, for those of you that cutting aravot, it have to be 24 centimeter. שלושה טפחים. That's a tefah. From here to here is a tefah. Tefah is 8 centimeter plus minus. 8 times 3 is 24. Okay? We usually put it with the elastic around together. Okay? And we hit the floor. The custom is different custom days on it. What do you do with the aravot after that? Some of the custom to throw them on top of the bima. Okay, on top of Aron HaKodesh, not the bima, on top of Aron HaKodesh, on top of the ark. The Mekubalim say no. Take those leaves, put them in a plastic, put them in your car for protection. Another secret, if you know about a child, a person that have a bad dream, he can't stop having bad dream, take 1 or 2 leaves, put it under his cushion, that will eliminate any bad dream. Because we have little kids, sorry, that usually wake up in the middle of the night crying. We all know about it. Said the Mekubalim, the mystical rabbi, take those 5 leaves. Take those leaves, 1 or 2 leaves from the aravot that you hit on the ground, put it under the cushion. That will stop any bad dream. Now, the 5 aravot have to be new aravot. You can't take the 2 aravot that you have in lulav and use them. It has to be brand new aravot that you never use. So here we see that behind that custom that to use the aravot, there is a lot of symbolic thing. There's a lot of mystical thing that we didn't know, and we learn, Baruch Hashem, that when we do them, it's to protect us, to help us in a time of danger, to help those people that have a bad dream. It will stop them from having bad dream. If you take 1 or 2 leaves, tell the parents to put under the cushion, it's a magic. It's a magic, and it will work. Rabotai, so Be'ezrat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will listen to all our praise tonight, tomorrow, and will write us, and will write all the children of Amo Bet Israel, Lechaim, Tovim, Uleshalom, and also Be'ezrat Hashem, that tomorrow we'll see the hostages, those that coming alive, that they will join with their family, Be'ezrat Hashem, that we waited for the last long 2 years. 2 years we waited for it. 2 years, Rabotai. So, Be'ezrat Hashem, that they will join their family and will be simha. Also, that those that passed away will be released and will bury in a Jewish grave, that people can at least have a Jewish grave for them, that people can say Kaddish for them. You know, people can go and visit them in the yortzeit. It's a lo pashut. I'm saying it. While I'm saying it, my heart is beeping, I think, faster than I think. Every minute I'm looking at the news. Is there is an earlier release? Is there is an earlier release? Or not? Are they going to release all of them? And I'm not a parent, Baruch Hashem, of one of those. Because I don't want to be in their shoes. But Rabotai, can we understand what the parents of those kids, the family of those hostages, for them every second is a year. They can't wait for tomorrow. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that everything gonna go smoothly and we see our hostages free. Yes, we're paying a great price for it. It's an enormous price to release murderers. But Rabotai, we don't have a choice. We need them back alive. And Be'ezrat Hashem, after that, we will deal with those murderers. But in the meantime, we have to daven for them, we have to daven for the family, we have to daven to Klal Am Yisrael, that we should have a prospered years, spiritually and physically, and a lot of health to heal all the hearts, all the wounds of the children of Israel, wherever they are, all the Jewish people over the diaspora. Amen. Ken Yiratzon.